What's up, guys? Mark Flockhart here with another insurance tip. So today I want to talk about filing claims, whether you should, whether you shouldn't, what is it worth. Little bit of a disclosure is I cannot tell you for sure whether you should file a claim or not. It's completely up to you and your insurance provider. The only advice that I can tell you on this is there's certain situations I wouldn't file a claim and I wouldn't tell my insurance company. So here's what we're going to do. Let's say, for example, you're in an accident. Whatever, right? You crashed the car, something happened. Actually, I'll tell you what, let's use an example of mine. I'm in Michigan, so in the winter, I one year slid across an intersection and hit a curb. Totally messed up I think it was a tie rod end or something like that, or ball joint or whatever. It was about $550. Now my deductible, I didn't know at the time because I was younger, my deductible was $500. So here's where a lot of people make a huge mistake. The first thing they do is they call up their insurance company. So let's kind of back up here. So pre to that step, they've done everything fine. They've gotten the accident, which not as fine, but whatever, it happened. So they're in the accident, and the first thing they think is, I should call my insurance. It is a good idea to call them. However, there's two different versions of insurance that you need to think about. Do I have an agent? And if I have an agent, is that agent working for the company directly, or is it an agent working for me? Okay, those are two very big distinctive things that you need to know. The second part is, am I direct with the company? So if I'm calling Farmers directly or Esurance directly, or all those companies that you bought them online, 21st Century, whatever the name is, okay? So if you bought one of those products that's a direct model, you're saving some money a little bit sometimes because you're getting a little bit of a cheaper deal by cutting out the middle guy, although in the end it will cost you, just so you know. Another video. Part of it's knowledge, okay? So if you're anything like me, before I did insurance, before I spent 8 years doing insurance, I didn't know anything. I didn't care about it. I just needed to pay it. I needed to move on. And that was my life, right? Insurance wasn't my focus. I just wanted to get through the day, make whatever money I make at my job, go home, relax, spend time with the kids, and that was that. So the last thing I thought about was insurance. And the first thing I thought about when I had an accident is who's going to pay for it. So the first thing you got to do is determine whether you have an agent or you're going direct. The reason I say this is because if you call directly to your insurance company and it's a direct model, the fact that you called them, they're going to file a claim. Doesn't matter if they pay on it, doesn't matter what. The second you call them and say, hey, I hit a curb, I don't know what I should do. It's like, oh, no problem, not a big deal. Are you okay? Do we need to send the police? Companies are really great with that, okay? They're really good, that they're there for you. Okay, no problem. Let's get a tow truck because you have towing or don't have towing, so let's get have you get a tow truck. Do you want me to look one up for you? All right, we've got someone coming. Are you safe? Are you okay? Should we send the police to wait with you? That's what they're going to do, okay? So they send somebody out and they get you towed. They put you in the mechanic shop, whether it's your friend. Usually they let you choose anybody you want, so as long as they're licensed. So you're at your buddy's mechanic shop, or you're at the one they recommended, which is usually giving you a discount. So I'll go to the one they recommend a lot of times. So you're at the body shop, they're fixing the car, it's $300. Easy fix. Oh, you only bent the wheel, we got a new wheel on there. It was $325. You're good to go. Call up your insurance, say, hey, I'm ready to pick up my car. And they're like, okay, great, well your deductible is $500, so you're not covered. Or your deductible is $250, so we're gonna pay the $250. You're gonna pay $250 and we're gonna pay the remainder. So now they fix the car, and here's what happens. The renewal comes and your rates go through the roof. And this is all because you filed the claim. Now here's the thing you gotta worry about. Here's where people are having problems. Is even if you didn't file a claim, if you called them directly, they're gonna file a claim at zero payout. So it's gonna show that you had an accident because you did, you're a higher risk because you caused an accident. Or if someone hit you, it's a little bit different in that situation, but let's just assume it's your fault in this situation. Now that you've caused the accident, they're gonna come after you and say you're a higher risk, we need to pay a higher premium, and it's not just them. Whoever you're with now, that follows you for 3 to 5 years depending on the company that you switch to. So if you're switching companies, they're still going to pull that record on file and say, sorry, it's a higher risk, our price is here. That's the difference. If you're calling an agent, if they're mad at you, you better be good friends with them. They might file a claim against you and just say, hey, that's my job. If they're working for you, similar to what I'm doing right now, as I work as an agency, I'm going to give you advice. I'm going to say, okay, how bad is the damage? Does it look bad? Are you okay? Is everything okay? Do you need me to call? Same thing, right? You need me to call the ambulance? Are you safe? Are you in a good location? Do you want me to come over? If you're nearby. So that whole thing is going to happen, right? And then they said, well, I hit the curb and it looks like the wheel's bent. I was like, is there any damage on the car? Is the fender messed up? Does it look like the body frame got bent? They're like, no, just the wheel, the tire popped. And I was like, okay, well, here's what I would recommend. Let's get it towed. So you'll have to out of pocket, even if you have towing. Let's get it towed, get you, send over to a mechanic or your body shop, and let's get it looked at. Okay. So we get it over there. They look it over and they say, oh, well, it's about $350 worth of damage. Okay, great. So Sue, we'll just call you Sue. Sue, you have a choice. By the way, not that women crash. Actually, this is me, Mark. Women actually are technically better drivers than men. Oh, another video. So Sue or Mark or whoever you are, it's $350. You have these options. I'm your agent. I'm here to help you and give you advice. So here's your options. You can file a claim, and your deductible is $500 or whatever it is. Let's say it's $100, right? So you're gonna pay $100. They're gonna pay $250. So great, they'll pay $250 towards it. However, you're gonna have a now at-fault accident on your record. I can tell you they're gonna raise your insurance by more than $250 a year for the next 3 to 5 years. So if that is not something that you want to have happen, if it's not worth it, I'm not trying to talk you out of a claim. I'm just trying to give you the advice that I would go toward. You can pay it out of pocket, and it just goes away, and it didn't happen. Okay, well, it happened, but you know what I get. You're not using the insurance, and that's what they want. I mean, they don't really want you to use them because that's just profit they make. If you use them, sure, you're going to get that extra $250, but they're going to turn around and put you in a different risk. And so that risk is going to cost you more in the long run. Other situation, it's $8,000 worth of damage, or it's $1,800 worth of damage, right? The wheel was bent, the tire has to be replaced, the ball joint broke, okay? And the tie rod is. So all that happened, they got to fix it. It sounds like a lot, but it's about $1,800 to fix. You have that same choice. You're going to call me up, say, hey, Mark, here's what happened, here's the estimate. And then in that case, I say, you know what, honestly, it's up to you. It will raise your insurance, but honestly, at this point, that's quite a bit of money for you to come out of pocket with. You have a $500 deductible. It's $1,800, so you're going to get $1,300 of that covered. You're right on that edge. I probably, if you don't have the funds, you got to do it, right? You got to have your car fixed. You got to drive. Let's pay the $500, get the car fixed. We'll submit the towing bill to the company because we had put towing and labor on your insurance. So let's get you reimbursed for that. If you're with a certain company, you had car seats in there, we're going to replace the car seats. If you have that coverage, so there's all sorts of, that's stuff you set up. Where do you really cut off where you should or shouldn't file a claim? That is a tough thing to do. And without a specific agent, or if you just common knowledge, you think you want to take that decision in your hands, it really just depends on where your finances are. If you have a lot of income, don't file a claim, fix it. You caused the accident, right? The trouble that people run into is they lean too much on the insurance company. They say, oh, well, I've got insurance, that's the reason I buy it. They're going to pay for it. Sure, they will. But you will turn around and pay for it back twice-fold if you claim too many. I've got a guy I just recently wrote a policy for, had no at-fault accidents, no tickets. He's got 4 comprehensive claims. I almost told him no. I said, you filed 4 claims because we would be insuring you and that's our risk, but do we really want to take on somebody that has had 4 comprehensive claims? They're filing 300, 300, 300, 300. Their windshield keeps breaking or whatever it is. They keep getting chips from the dirt. They're on a dirt road, right? But they are more of in that mindset, not to say that it's wrong, but they're in that mindset no matter what, my insurance is going to cover it. The problem is, and I spoke with the person, and this is the reasons that I actually lean towards insuring them, is because they didn't know that. They didn't have that. No one ever explained it to them that way. Said, absolutely, these comprehensive claims are not going to affect your cost. So they're not raising your rate because they're comprehensive claims, right? Those don't typically raise your insurance. But you have 4 of them. You have 5, and half of the companies that I can insure you with walk away. They don't like 5 claims. Most companies, you have 5 occurrence in 5 years, tickets, accidents, towing claims they don't care about. That's something totally different. You run out of gas, stuff like that. That's towing and labor. They technically don't count that as a claim, even though it shows up. If they notice that you're being towed from the bar all the time, 5 times a year, and you're using that as like a tow service, then absolutely they're going to catch on to that. But if you have, comprehensive claim, a ticket, a not at fault accident, so you haven't done anything wrong, but you have all these things, typically when there's a 5th occurrence, they're going to pull away and say, that's one of our guidelines. If you have more than 3 occurrences, 4 occurrences, 5 occurrences, each company is different, we won't insure you. You've disqualified yourself with our company. It's too high of a risk for us to determine whether you're doing it on purpose or not. So that was a mind shift that they made. It's like, oh my goodness, I never thought of that. If I file too many, that also will disqualify me. And that's where people get a little bit angry. And I don't disagree with you. Insurance is there to protect you, and a lot of people are going to look at this and say, well, that's why I buy it. I don't understand why I'm paying for it and I can't use it. And when I use it, they penalize me. Don't get me wrong, I have to pay for insurance too. I feel very, very similar in the aspect of, yes, one of the reasons I kind of lean and feel a little bit bad for the insurance companies is their profit margin. Even though these guys are making a lot of money, right? Their profit margin in each individual person is so low. I mean, we're talking pennies for months. So they're trying to just scrape 10 cents here, 20 cents here, $1 on each person. If they have a low risk or a good year where their loss ratio is lower, then they're really happy. They made a couple dollars on you, but they have millions of people that they're making a couple dollars on. And so that's kind of where it works out. And that's why they're so strict, is because it's so competitive. If you guys want to learn more about that, I'll try to post. I've got another video I've posted up on how insurance companies make money off of you, and then the different risks. So that's it. That's the way that claims go. That's whether you should decide whether or not you should file one. Let me know what you think. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Thumbs down if you didn't. If you want more advice, subscribe. Definitely leave us a comment below and let me know what your experience was. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Drive safe. Don't file a claim unless it's a certain reason. You know who you are. I'm just joking. Have a good one, guys.